Good morning, Group Gamma. Sorry for the late feedback. I was hoping to receive an additional updated presentation other than this one. I can't even find out how I received it. But since it is Wednesday morning, I'm going to go ahead and give you some feedback and just talk about the presentation. So let's start with the first slide. What is research? Well, the first slide technically should be what I have down listed as your last slide, if you can tell from the screen. I would like to have the main question at the top. It also introduces who you are, the week that you're doing the presentation, and you should also include the course number and the semester, saying spring 2011, that this is the group, this is the week for your presentation. So, um, going back, you start off with your initial topic. What is research? Research can be defined as the search for knowledge or as a systematic investigation to establish facts. It just kind of you pretty much start off by answering the question, and it's a lot of text, no visuals on the screen whatsoever, and that's how you start the presentation. So you get right into it. Hopefully you won't be reading directly from the screen. Let's go to slide 2. The next one is research is organized and systematic way of finding answers to questions. Then you define systematic. Okay? No example of, well, let's see. There's no example of a systematic one here. I'm not quite sure, and there's no visual description of something that would give anyone a definition or clue. Then you go into organize, in that there is a structure or method in going about doing research. It is a planned procedure, not a spontaneous one. It is focused and limited to a specific scope. By that just being kind of sitting there, I'm not really sure how it's connected to the other slide, but I do know the original definition. This is the original question. So this title is not even on this slide, and neither is it on the next one. So therefore, that kind of odd. And I figured it's the same thing about questions. No title here. So by you not having any titles on the 3 slides, there's no connectivity forming. I realize you were trying to break it up a little bit, but by not giving any particular example, then you cite the source here. Not sure, since you're using, I'm assuming, 2 different sources um, from your original one, Wikipedia here, and um, Linguistics by BYU University. Again, there's no real connection, so I'm not sure how those two are related. And there's no examples on none of them, so therefore it kind of throws me off as the reader. So the next one, how to do research. I think that's a good way to step up to talk about it next, but if this is flown into the next section, I can't tell that it's the next section. So this gives me no real setup to help the reader or the person listening to the presentation to really understand how this part is connected before you go in to tell them how to do it. So I don't think you've done a good job right here. So let's go back to how to do research. Then you've got pretty much some bullet points. If you're going to give someone some step-by-steps, you don't use bullet points, you use numbers. So people would know what, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4. And the reason it took me a while to finish giving you feedback is because I was hoping to receive some additional feedback or maybe an updated presentation, because when I first opened up the file back on Sunday or Monday, it looked like it was kind of incomplete or in the starting phase. But nevertheless, again, there's no examples to show how you can do it. There are no graphics, no pictures, or nothing to really kind of give the reader, the presenter, some idea of what you're doing. I think the steps are okay. Again, you're getting it from BYU University, and though I prefer for you to put all your sources at the end of the presentation as opposed to on each page, that's just a personal preference. The problem that when you do it this way is this, it looks like you're just pretty much cutting and pasting, and it's like there's no real connectivity to the first part of the presentation. Then you go into scientific research. Okay, where did scientific research come from? There was no introduction to it, no place here, and no place above. So, let's see, is it here? Not quite. So you're kind of, again, introducing a brand new term or topic. I'm not sure how it is related. So my concern at this point is that you're not flowing very well to give your presentation. So it kind of feels like you're all over the place, or at least you're in the same venue, but it's not flowing. It's not connecting for the reader. So my concern is that you would, or even for the people in the classroom. So hopefully when you do your presentation, maybe you'll speak to it a little bit better. No visuals on this either, on this one. Again, going back to Wikipedia, I would say you don't have to put a source on every page. I think you should put it someplace else. So right now I'm beginning to think, oh, maybe you all just kind of did some things independently, then you kind of put some slides together, and this is from what you're working with, and then you've got like another presentation you finalize on as a group. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in the background, which again is why I was delayed. This is generally, research is understood to follow a certain structural process through step order. This looks like this is what was said before. Um, Again, are these things in order? Are you using, this is wikipedia.org. I'm not sure, this kind of comes out of nowhere. It doesn't even have a title on it, or no pictures or graphics. I'm not sure the relevance of this slide. Then it goes types of research methods. So then you talk about 3 different types of research methods. You get this from psychology, from about.com in the psychology section. And again, I've not seen any proper introduction any place else in the beginning part. So I'm not, again, seeing connection. Again, you all are maybe working independently and then kind of putting some things together. So this isn't flowing pretty well, in my opinion, so far. Then you say examples of research topics. Well, I gave you examples of research topics at the very beginning of the semester, but and this is real related to science only. You can do research on any particular topic, um, or person, or thought, or something, but this is scientific research topics. Okay. I'm not sure. This slide is just kind of hanging out there by itself. It's definitely not connected to the previous slide. There's nothing on here about scientific research topics. That's more so connected to this one. So there's like a gap before this one. So this just has some odd placement. Um, Next would be examples of causal research. I like the fact that you have some examples. I would probably just put them in some better places, perhaps like following, if you do talk about causal, separate slides, and then give an example, maybe put them together so that it'll make a little bit more sense. Otherwise, you're jumping around. You've got 2 slides in between before you, 1 slide in between before you start discussing causal. But that's just to me, a question of presentation. The same thing with descriptive research. The examples that you use for all 3 in relational research are pretty okay, but without any visuals or something like that to really kind of draw it in for people, I'm not sure if they'll make the connection. Let's go to your next slide. Why is it important to understand? Okay, I got it. You're kind of drawing up your conclusions. You got a lot of things on this slide. I just think you'd be better off breaking it up. It's awfully small, so it's like everything you're putting on here so you can read from. So I'm already concerned that you're going to be reading directly from the slide and not really engaging into the conversation. And then you use all of your references here. So if you have them throughout, having them just in one location. And of course, this is a title slide, so it doesn't need to go at the end. It needs to go at the beginning, which is, again, why I thought this was your draft. So if this is what you're going to present in class tonight, I would suggest you reorder this a little bit more, cut back on some of the text, find some graphics, and make sure you do a little bit of rehearsal. Right now it's all over the place. I was hoping if you're going to let this be a standalone, you were going to have some examples of how individuals can do research, whether they're researching a topic or something. Maybe you'll do this live in your presentation, but it's definitely not reflected inside the presentation that's going to stay up online. So we'll see if you're going to do this in person live. That's my feedback for you right now, to reorganize, restructure, use some visuals, cut back on some of the text, and make sure that it flows better. It doesn't flow very well. It kind of has like bits and pieces. And I'm assuming these are all the individuals that have been participating in this. So I'm going to send this back to you all. Good luck. Thank you for the presentation, and I'll see you all tonight. Don't forget room 305. When you finish doing this presentation, let's see. Is this group 2? Let me switch your groups up for you right quick. Just as a reminder, you post your presentation. I will open up this space today, assuming that you want to post stuff so that maybe your classmates can see it. But you come down to this section, your group 3, what is research and why is it important? So you will go here, and then as an individual in the group, someone will wind up posting it by clicking here, and then saying this is a presentation for group 3, and then giving a brief small paragraph. Go down here, you would attach your file, and then you would post it to the forum so that others can see it. I will make this available today. I just didn't open it up beforehand because I really wanted to wait before you made it available to everyone else, just to give you some feedback. Good luck, everyone. I will see you all tonight. Don't forget, we're changing the room 305. And then next week, when the mini paper is due on this topic, you are not as a group, you're not responsible for completing the mini paper. You simply have to do the self and group evaluation, which you can find down in week 1. Yes. And just to kind of cheat for you right quick, oh, they did some upgrades to this. You go down to week 1 to the Seek, go to the downloads, and then you can go down to, I think it's the last option, the self-group evaluation. You would click here for it, and then you can download, complete that, and then that's what you would submit for the due assignment next week. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. I'll see you later on tonight. I hope the feedback helps, and give me any emails if you have any questions. All right, bye.